We are now in the month, meaning the month of Iyar. This month is the month of Ziv. What is special about the month of Ziv? Not all months are written with their original names. In the Torah, we find 2 months that have their original names: the month of Ziv, the month of Bul, the month of Etanim. So, the month of Ziv and the month of Bul. The month of Ziv is the month of Iyar. What is the month of Bul? The month of Cheshvan. These 2 months are mentioned. These 2 things are mentioned in the construction of Solomon's temple. That is, in this month, King Solomon, 4 years after he was crowned, went straight to building the temple. Because all the materials that King David prepared, gold, silver, copper, iron, and so on, King David had already prepared the first 10 intentions, all the foundations around. He is currently laying the foundations, as it's called, having already built the altar. They offered sacrifices on the altar, just needed to approach one. Solomon did this, as mentioned in the Bible, over the course of 7 years. The sages say, do you see a man diligent in his work? He will stand before kings. This refers to King Solomon. He did everything quickly. That in 7 years he built the temple, while his own house, the royal palace, took 13 years. But the temple was built in 7 years. Look here, for example, at the past. At the Tiferet Yisrael, the synagogues being built within the Jewish quarter. How many years does it take to build them? He built the entire temple with all its complexity, with the huge stones, over 7 years, and without all the modern means, the cranes, and everything else. Therefore, the question arises here. He started it in the month of Ziv, and finished after 7 years, in the month of Bul in Cheshvan. The question arises, you are so quick. Why did he dedicate the altar, the dedication of the temple, a whole year later, only in the month of Tishrei, in the month of the mighty ones? Or month, that's a third name. You said it well. In the month of the mighty ones. So he held the dedication of the temple. Why did he wait a year? You were in such a hurry? Come, invite all the people immediately and finish it. The point is that King Solomon did something great here that hadn't been done since the Exodus from Egypt. He invited all of Israel from Lebo Hamath, Kosika, Antioch in Turkey. That was the royal name. From Antioch in Turkey, northern Syria, to the brook of Egypt, which is the Nile Delta, to bring all the people of Israel to Jerusalem. You have to understand, today there are faucets in Jerusalem. There are massive water pipes that bring water up to Jerusalem. If he had invited a few million people here, and they had to drink from the cisterns, they would all have died within a few days. Why? There is no water here. There were cisterns, there was the Shiloh spring. They provided a little water, not much. Therefore, King Solomon prepared massive water reservoirs. Anyone who knows the reservoir in Mamilla, a huge reservoir, you need to see it. A huge reservoir known as the Sultan's Pool. It's a pool, a storage pool, whose foundations were laid by King Solomon. There are 16 pools here. All the logistics had to be prepared so that the people of Israel could ascend with the animals. People came up with sheep. Yes, with all the sacrifices. People came with donkeys, horses, camels. All of these need to drink water. Therefore, it took a whole year of preparations. And that's why in the end he held the dedication of the temple in the month of Tishrei, the month of the mighty ones, named after Abraham, who was mighty, and the patriarchs in general. So what we all need to understand is the swiftness of King Solomon to build the temple quickly. The sages say the same verse about Moses, that in 6 months, from Yom Kippur, when he brought down the tablets and atoned for the people of Israel, until the 1st of Nisan, he erected the tabernacle. It's something, a tremendous operation. under the conditions of the desert. During the entire time of the Second Temple, as they ascended to Jerusalem, the month of Tishrei arrived, Rosh Hashanah. They offered sacrifices. However, that house, everything was burned. They began the work swiftly. It teaches us how swift we need to be in this matter. And unfortunately, we are approaching 58 years since the liberation of this place, something that has been established in this place for 58 years. And the people of Israel are in slumber. The sages say, I am asleep, but my heart is awake. I am asleep from the temple. What is this slumber? The entire world of Torah sees everything that is happening here. They say to the people, to the scholars and the like, we stand aside, even support them, ensure them, nurture Islam here, in this place. Therefore, whoever is here right now represents the people of Israel throughout the generations. So, Abraham, our father, who bound Isaac, his son, here, through Isaac, who was bound, Jacob, who prayed here, and all the generations, all of whom are dedicated to the building of the temple soon. And with God's help, we will all merit to pass through it and see it here.
Amen.
With God's help, we did not merit the first Passover. We can correct it on the second Passover. Hallel on the 9th of Aviv, a son to Amen. Amen. And overall,